everybody, Nostalgic here. So before I even show off these models, I'm going to say this. I had originally recorded this video with one of the large-scale engines that I'm about to show being incomplete. But today, I had found the face required in order to finish him at last. So let's get into this video by showing the first 3 large-scale props that will be used for Railway Legacy. Those being Thomas the Tank Engine himself, Edward the Blue Engine as well, and last but certainly not least, James the Red Engine. Now, for these models, I had specifically inclined myself to say, you know what, people hate on All Engines Go, so why not use the All Engines Go variants as large-scale models, but modified with original series wheels, and even more so, some original series faces. So, let's take a look at Thomas first. So, as you can tell, I have painted some details onto him. For example, the back of the cab. It has been painted blue with the windows intact. As well as that, I painted his whistle gold. I had given him that gap in between his tanks and his splasher. And last but certainly not least, his face is from a 2009 Trackmaster Thomas, the one with the easily removable body shell. Now, as for Edward, this was the one I had completed today because of the fact that I couldn't find his body and face earlier. But thankfully, I had found them. The face is from the 2009 Edward as well. And he has the original series wheels. I had cut off the buffers in between the tender and the engine since it's inaccurate. And I also gave him the blue footplate detailing. I even gave him his windows and a gold whistle to boot. As you can tell, these all have black footplates, as in Railway Legacy. Once the engines get their Northwestern liveries, they get their black footplates. Now here's James, and you might be wondering, wait a second. The last time we saw your James, he had black lining, not blue lining. So what's going on here? Well, this is actually a change I would have to bring up at some point or another, but I have officially changed my James model to have blue lining instead of black lining. And yeah, the thing about it is, I wanted James to have a bit more of a combined TV series and combined Railway series feel, since, you know, the Railway series and TV series comprise Railway Legacy with most of its stories. So I had kept the black roof from the original series, the blue lining is from the Railway series, and last but certainly not least, the blue lining is still evident on the tender, but the 5 still has the black outline, as it has in the TV series. So yeah, there's your explanation on James from Take and Play, but now let's take a look at the large-scale version of him. So this has gold lining, a brass dome, as well as that I gave him those little red marks that he has on his smoke box. And yeah, not much to say about him. I had painted the tender wheels and front bogie wheels black in order to fit more well into with the black wheel aesthetic that James has. As well as that, I also gave him the 2009 Trackmaster face. So, now you're probably asking, why did I make these? What was the point of all of this? Well, here's the thing. It's evident that at some point or another, these characters will have to interact with the narrow gauge engines. So, let's do a bit of a height comparison. So, with Thomas and Skarloey, there's not really much of a difference except for face height, generally. The cab height is almost the same in some ways. So, yeah, Thomas might be a bit of a dud. But let's compare Skarloey to, say, Edward. You can really feel a bit of the height difference there, but not too much. And I think the same... Actually, no, with James, the same cannot be said. He's kind of taller than Skarloey in some ways. But then again, I think that I did a good job on these large-scale models, and tell me what you think about the idea surrounding them. Using these larger-scale models to fit in well with when the engines interact with the narrow-gauge characters. Other than that, this concept is also kind of inspired by Season 9 and possibly even Seasons 10 through 12. The reason being, these large-scale models, well, there were large-scale models of Thomas, Percy, and James. Thomas and Percy were used to interact with the pack first, then the narrow-gauge engines, but then they created one for James in order to interact with the narrow-gauge engines. So it's kind of a win-win situation, and it's no problem. Just no problem. Tell me what you think about these guys in the comments below. This is Nostalgic signing off. And if you're wondering, more will be on the way. I've already got Henry in production, as well as others like Gordon, Percy, Diesel, and Nia. So yeah, more will be coming soon. See you guys later, and remember that nostalgia never dies.